Good evening and welcome to today's NoorNews Bulletin. Tonight, we examine the escalating migration crisis at the Spanish border and the latest diplomatic fallout following the attack on Kuwait. We also bring you an exclusive look at the fragile path toward peace in Gaza. Let's begin with the situation in Ceuta. Tensions remain high at the Spanish enclave of Ceuta following a massive influx of migrants crossing from Morocco. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has formally attributed the surge to the activities of organized human traffickers, characterizing the movement as a deliberate challenge to the nation's border integrity. Reports indicate that approximately 60,000 individuals entered the territory in a short span, prompting the Spanish government to deploy military forces to the region to assist local security services in managing the border perimeter. According to verified reports, the majority of these migrants had been returned to Moroccan territory by Friday evening as authorities worked to stabilize the situation. The incident has triggered significant diplomatic and regional repercussions, most notably the decision by Italy to temporarily suspend its participation in the Schengen Agreement regarding free movement with Spain. This suspension reflects broader concerns among European Union member states regarding border security and the management of migration flows. While the immediate situation in Ceuta has seen a reduction in the number of active crossings, the event has intensified ongoing debates within the European bloc concerning the enforcement of border protocols and the necessity for enhanced cooperation between Spain and Morocco to prevent future unauthorized mass entries. The United Arab Emirates has issued a formal condemnation in the strongest terms regarding a renewed hostile attack targeting the state of Kuwait involving unmanned aerial vehicles. According to the Qatar news agency, QNA, the Emirati Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed its firm rejection of such acts of aggression, characterizing them as a direct violation of Kuwaiti sovereignty and a threat to regional stability. The UAE statement emphasized the necessity of upholding international law and maintaining the security of neighboring states against cross-border threats. Abu Dhabi reiterated its full solidarity with Kuwait, affirming its support for all measures taken by the Kuwaiti government to protect its national security and ensure the safety of its citizens. This latest incident follows a series of heightened tensions in the Gulf region, prompting renewed calls from international observers for de-escalation and diplomatic restraint. The UAE's official response underscores the gravity with which regional powers view these drone incursions, as diplomatic efforts continue to address the underlying security challenges. While the specific details regarding the origin and impact of the drones remain under investigation by Kuwaiti authorities, the UAE has called for a unified regional approach to prevent further provocations that could undermine the collective security architecture of the Gulf Cooperation Council. Saudi Arabia has confirmed that its recent military strikes within Iraqi territory were directed exclusively at Iran-backed militias, rather than the Iraqi state or its citizens. According to the Saudi Gazette, a senior official stated that the operation specifically targeted military warehouses linked to recent drone attacks on the kingdom's oil facilities and critical infrastructure. The official emphasized that these actions were taken only after all diplomatic and political avenues had been exhausted, following months of what the kingdom described as the utmost restraint. Riyadh maintains that these militias are actively undermining Iraq's national interests and damaging its relations with neighboring Arab and Islamic nations by utilizing Iraqi territory to launch cross-border strikes. The Saudi source further clarified that the military response was limited in scope and intended solely to neutralize threats posed by non-state actors operating outside of government control. The kingdom reaffirmed its commitment to preserving strong bilateral ties with Iraq and its people, stressing that the strikes were a necessary measure to protect Saudi Arabia's critical infrastructure from persistent aggression. The operation marks a significant escalation in the regional response to militia-led drone warfare, though Riyadh continues to emphasize that its strategic focus remains on regional stability and the protection of its sovereign territory. A Peruvian appeals court has overturned the 15-year prison sentence previously handed down to former President Ollanta Humala. According to the BBC, the decision reverses the 2025 conviction that found Humala and his wife, Nadine Heredia, guilty of money laundering charges related to illicit campaign financing. The legal proceedings had centered on allegations that the couple received undeclared funds from the Brazilian construction giant Odebrecht during Humala's 2011 presidential campaign. While the lower court had initially ruled that these financial irregularities constituted a criminal conspiracy, the appellate judges concluded that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence to sustain the money laundering convictions under current legal standards. The ruling marks a significant development in the long-running judicial scrutiny of Peru's political leadership, which has seen multiple former heads of state face corruption investigations over the past decade. Following the court's decision, legal representatives for the former president have indicated that the verdict effectively clears the couple of the primary charges that led to their incarceration. The prosecution has not yet formally announced whether they intend to challenge this appellate ruling before the Supreme Court. For now, the reversal represents a major shift in one of the most high-profile corruption cases in the nation's recent history. Rescue teams in Japan have deployed sniffer dogs to conduct a final search of a shopping mall severely damaged by an explosion following a major earthquake. According to the BBC, the operation comes as the official death toll from the tremor, which struck 3 days ago, has risen to 35. Emergency responders are meticulously combing through the wreckage of the commercial complex, which was compromised by a blast in the immediate aftermath of the seismic event. The search efforts are focused on ensuring no survivors or victims remain trapped beneath the debris of the collapsed structure. Authorities have noted that the structural instability of the site has complicated recovery operations, requiring specialized equipment and canine units to navigate the hazardous environment. As the search continues, local officials are also assessing the broader impact of the earthquake on regional infrastructure. The disaster has prompted a significant mobilization of national emergency services, with rescue teams working around the clock to clear rubble and secure affected areas. While the search at the mall is nearing its conclusion, the government continues to coordinate relief efforts for thousands of residents displaced by the destruction. Further updates on the recovery mission are expected as officials finalize their assessment of the site. A proposed plan for the disarmament of Hamas in Gaza is currently facing significant geopolitical and logistical obstacles, though analysts suggest it offers a rare glimmer of hope for the region. According to the BBC, while the framework for a potential transition is being discussed, the path to implementation remains fraught with deep-seated challenges. The realities of the ongoing conflict, characterized by a complete lack of trust between the warring parties, present a formidable barrier to any formal agreement. Furthermore, the immense scale of destruction across the Gaza Strip and the loss of thousands of lives have created a complex environment that complicates diplomatic efforts. Experts note that for any disarmament plan to succeed, it would require not only a cessation of hostilities but also a robust mechanism for security and governance that all stakeholders can accept. Despite these hurdles, the existence of a structured proposal is being viewed by some observers as a necessary, albeit difficult, starting point for future negotiations. The international community continues to monitor whether these discussions can move beyond the conceptual stage, given the entrenched positions and the humanitarian crisis that continues to unfold on the ground. 2 bodies have been recovered from Pakistan's Broad Peak following a major avalanche that struck a climbing team led by mountaineer Nirmal Purja. According to the BBC, search and rescue operations are currently underway to locate the remaining members of the expedition. While 2 individuals have been confirmed deceased, drone surveillance has identified 7 additional bodies on the mountain, though their exact condition remains unclear at this stage. The incident occurred as the team was navigating the treacherous terrain of the 8,051-meter peak, which is known for its unpredictable weather patterns and high risk of snow slides. Local authorities and specialized mountain rescue units have been deployed to the site to assess the feasibility of recovery efforts, given the extreme altitude and ongoing instability of the snowpack. The expedition, which had been documenting their ascent, has faced significant logistical challenges due to the remote location and the severity of the avalanche. Officials have stated that the search will continue as weather conditions permit, with further updates expected once ground teams can safely reach the identified coordinates. The incident highlights the persistent dangers faced by high-altitude climbers in the Karakoram range, even when supported by experienced professional teams. Thank you for joining us for this verified report on today's global developments. We remain committed to bringing you the facts you can trust. NoorNews, verified before published.